Welcome back. It's Friday, March 17th in the NBA. My four favorite picks are on the way. It is St. Patrick's Day. We're in green. Hopefully we're going to get some luck coming our way. I am Irish, so I think I deserve some luck, especially after yesterday when we had none of it. An 0-3 day in day 3 of our ladder challenge lost. I already talked about that. Josh Giddey set a season low in assists. He did not get it done. As for our 3 plays, look, I don't make excuses normally, but yesterday we had literally no luck. Yesterday was probably one of the most triggering betting days I've had in some time. Jamal Murray starts off at 11 points in the first quarter, ends with 19, did nothing in the second quarter, missed a layup and a 3 at the end of the game to go over. Scotty Barnes, the most triggering one of them all, under 29.5 PRAs. I think he had like 10 PRAs through about 25 minutes. And then he turns it on, scores like 22 points, rebounds, and assists in his final 10 minutes. Icing on top, Nick Nurse comes in, benches all of the starters in garbage time. They're up by 20, and he leaves in Scotty Barnes to go over. I can't. And then DeAndre Ayton, he scored 8 points in the first quarter, but ends with 16, did not get it done. I don't make excuses, but yesterday was tough. I won't lie to you. Waking up after that kind of day was brutal. But today we're going 4-0. We're speaking it into existence. If you're new, my name's Austin. Welcome to the community. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like too. And my friends at dime.rs have a great offer for you guys on Bet365. They're offering this today. If you use the top link in the description, you bet just $1 on anything. It could be on an NBA game, a college basketball tournament game. It could be on ping pong. I don't care what it is. You get $365 worth of free bets to use, bonus bets. Take advantage of that. It's all linked down below, top of the description in New Jersey, Colorado, Virginia, and Ohio. So take advantage of that Bet365 offer. It's one of my favorite books to use. It is a good one to use. Normally their lines don't move too quick, so take advantage of that. But all the details down below in the description. Let's start a hot streak today. I'm pissed off. Let's start with this first one. Zach LaVine over 26.5 points, minus 115 on FanDuel. Now Zach LaVine of the Chicago Bulls, him and his team are taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're at home in Chicago, and Minnesota's his former team. Now, I'm not saying there's any emotion here because he hasn't obviously played there in a while, but LaVine's been pretty good recently, and maybe if there's an added tick of emotion, we'll take it. Now, over LaVine's last 6 games, he played pretty dang well. 41, 27, 42, 29, 36, and 25 points. So he had gone over in 5 straight before last game when he scored 25 points. Now, a lot of people were on his over last game, and honestly, he probably should have went over. I mean, in those games, he attempted 20, 21, 23, 18, 26, and 22 field goal attempts. Last game, 7 for 22 from the field. Like, if Zach LaVine gives us 20-plus shots tonight, I'll take it. He's been getting to the free throw line about 6 times on average per game, and I just don't see Vucevic, who shot 22 times last game. DeRozan shot 20 times last game. Just don't see those guys shooting that many times. I mean, those guys normally aren't that high of a field goal attempts, especially Vucevic. Normally, rarely sees 20-plus shot attempts. But we talked about the Bulls. They're in must-win mode. This is a team that sits as a 12 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're about a half a game behind the 10 seed to get into the play-in games, and they got 14 games to play. So the Bulls need these wins, and so do the Timberwolves. This is another team that's fighting for playoff competition. So both these two teams are going to play their starters a lot of minutes. LaVine rarely goes, under 40% from the field consistently. He is a guy that shoots a lot of threes and can get hot from there, but also a guy that's been attacking the hoop. And in fact, in his last 3 games where he went and shot below 40% from the field, the following game he scored 36, 32, and 42 points. So a great bounce back guy. I think Jaden McDaniels of the Timberwolves will probably go out there and guard DeMar DeRozan. I think that's a better matchup for him. So I think LaVine gets Anthony Edwards, a very good defender in his own regard, but LaVine's been attacking the hoop. I don't know if Rudy Gobert plays today. I don't really care. He can get to the free throw line. He can score at all facets of the game. I think 26.5 it might be a little high, but I think it's too low for Mr. LaVine, how well he's been playing. He's starting with Patrick Beverley and other guys that don't really shoot the ball a whole lot. I really like Zach LaVine tonight. We're taking his over, 26.5 points. Now, let's keep it moving to another under, and it's going to be Brandon Ingram, but it's under 5.5 assists, currently minus 115 on the sponsor, Bet365. Now, technically, Bet365 doesn't really sponsor the videos. Dimers just tells me which offers are great, and I put them in the videos. But let's talk about Ingram and the Pelicans on the road taking on the Rockets. Now, the Pelicans, like I talked about, a lot of other teams in need of some wins. They've been cold recently. This is a must-win game for them. You're taking on the Rockets. You got to beat the Rockets. Now, Ingram averaging just 4.8 assists per game, under in 16 of his last 25 games. Now, he will have some games where he gets, 6, 7, 8 assists, but I'd rather go with the under for Ingram because I don't really necessarily see him as a great passer. And if Ingram's scoring, he's not passing the ball. I mean, normally when you see Ingram hit the over in assist, it's because he's not scoring too well, but I love this matchup for him to take off in scoring. So I would look at this Rockets team. They don't have a great defense, so I think Ingram can get wherever he wants and can score at He can get to the rim. He can shoot 3-pointers, shoot mid-ranges. He can get wherever he wants, and we've seen that against his last 9 games versus Houston. He's averaged just 4.7 assists per game, going under in 8 of his last 9. The only reason that's 4.7 is because one of those games he had 12 assists in that. Now, CJ McCollum didn't play in that game Brandon Ingram was basically the point guard that night, but CJ McCollum is obviously here. He's the guy that leads this team in assist chances per game. He's also coming off a really bad game where CJ McCollum scored like 13 points. So I think he scores a lot more points today. McCollum, that is. And we look at Brandon Ingram, scores 2.5 more points per game on the road. So if he's in scoring mode, McCollum's in scoring mode. I just don't see a lot of assists going to his other teammates. I know the Rockets aren't the greatest defense in the world, but sometimes I think that's better. I think Ingram gets more assists when there's teams that are doubling him, teams are making life tough on him to score. I don't really think that's the Rockets' forte. I'll take Brandon Ingram under 5.5 assists. It might be sweaty, but hopefully we can cash that one out. And then we got two more plays. We're going to start with this one. It's going to be Tre Jones, over 18.5 points plus assists, minus 110 on DraftKings. If you don't know who Tre Jones is, I won't lie to you. I won't blame you. He plays for the San Antonio Spurs, and there's probably, if you couldn't name 3 players on the Spurs, I think you're probably in the majority, because this team is starting a lot of nobodies pretty much every single night. But these guys, if you don't watch them, they've been playing pretty well, and Tre Jones is their starting point guard. Now, if you need an individual line, points is probably the way to go, and if you need a PRA line, I'd like to play that up to 22.5. Now, the Spurs, like I said, are a weird team because you never really know who they're starting every single night, but Tre Jones is going to start, and he's going to be their point guard tonight. And hey, look, he returned back from injury a couple games ago, kind of got into his normal form the last 3 games when he's had 16, 22, and 18 points plus assists. So not terrible on 9, 7, and 11 field goal attempts. I think on the screen it might have just points, but that's points plus assist line. He's a good guy for getting assists. But in those 3 games, played 25, 25, and 32 minutes. And tonight, I believe he approaches 30 minutes, if not plays more. Now, the Spurs last game started Devontae Graham and Romeo Langford. Both of those guys are out. Now, Devin Vassell did not play that game. He probably comes into the starting lineup, but he's not a high usage guy. And this is a team that are going to face the Grizzlies. The Spurs are at home. And it's a matchup that I think Tre Jones exploits, because I think Keldon Johnson might struggle against Jaren Jackson Jr. I think you're going to need a guy like Tre Jones to step up. Now, Tre's played well against the Grizzlies in the past. He's had 22, 25, and 28 points plus assists in his last 3 against them all this season. So we've seen him do well against them. And I'm going to be honest, there's really not a lot of players, or there's not a reason bigger than this. Tre Jones is going to be guarded by his younger or his older brother, Tyus Jones. And look, Greg Popovich knows this Spurs team is going nowhere. So would it surprise me to see Pop put maybe Tre Jones in for a little bit to see him go out there and try to cook his older brother? I wouldn't be surprised. But we've seen Tre be aggressive against Tyus in the past, and Tyus be aggressive against Tre in the past. And Tyus Jones, not the best defender. But look, would it surprise me if the Spurs his teammates are giving Tre Jones the ball a little bit more just because they know this game means a lot more to him than it does maybe everyone else on the Spurs team? No. And we've seen Tre, I think he goes out there and shoots a lot. He could hit this over in just points alone, but we've seen Tre shoot a lot against this Grizzlies team. This is a decent matchup for him, and if Tre's shooting 10 plus times, he's over this line in 16 of his last 25 with 10 or more field goal attempts. Also a good facilitator, so maybe he lucks into a double-double, but should be a higher scoring game. I think Tre Jones against his older brother Tyus, I think this is a good spot to target him. He's been doing pretty well getting close to this line. I think the extra field goal attempts should bump him over it. I think Tre attacks his older brother, and honestly, look, Tyus Jones, this is for you, man. Your brother's a free agent this offseason. Let him secure a bigger bag. Let him drop a 30-piece on your head. You guys can probably still win this against the Spurs. But I think Tyus lets maybe his younger brother eat. Tre Jones are riding with him, taking us over 18.5 points plus assists. I'm not just betting it just because I think he goes off against his older brother, but I do think this is a decent spot for him. I don't think his other teammates have great matchups, and I think we'll see Tre Jones just go after his older brother. So we'll ride with him. Now, my last play will be a bankroll builder. I told you guys I would start doing more of these since the ladder challenge is probably not going to continue, but it's going to be this one. Stephen Curry, 25 plus points. Trae Young, 25 plus points in the same game parlay, minus 105 on DraftKings. Now, like I said, taking some time off the ladder challenge, maybe I return something with the MLB, which starts in less than 2 weeks, but I at least want to give out these plays because realistically, if you were just putting a unit on all of our ladder challenge plays, you're up a lot because we've been doing pretty well on them, but I like this one, and let's talk about why. Now, the Hawks and Warriors are taking on each other. They're in Atlanta for this game, and you could be a little bit more conservative if you want to maybe go to 20 points for each of them, but you're not going to get any good value there. So I'll just take these two guys. Their lines are like 29.5 for Steph. I think 28, 29.5 for Steph or Trae as well. Now, the over-under for this game, 247.5, one of the highest we've seen on the slate. I don't see them getting pretty close to that unless you're seeing these two guys score pretty well. And we look at this Warriors team. Curry coming off a 50-point game. Draymond Green is out due to suspension due to too many technical fouls. And Klay Thompson notoriously hasn't played very well on the road. So Curry, who scored 28 or more in 5 straight games for Atlanta, should be able to do his job. He should have the ball in his hands hands a lot. He can get to the free throw line, do his thing. Trae Young on the other side, played really well recently, 25 plus in 5 straight, scored 28, 33, and 30 in his last 3 versus Golden State. I don't think they have a great matchup for him. Dante DiVincenzo probably guards him, but with Draymond out, Kevon Looney still banged up, I really don't think this team has a lot of rim protection, heck, even paint protection. So Trae should be able to drive, get wherever he wants, get the floaters he needs. And look, Steph's going to have the ball in his hands a ton on the other side. So I think Steph can get us 25. I think their lines might be pretty sharp. Maybe they end up like 28 each, but 25 apiece from each of these guys. As long as it doesn't get odds boosted, I think they got a great chance. So 25 apiece from Trae and Steph. That's all we're asking for. Minus 105 on DraftKings. I'll put a unit on it and take my chances with these two superstars. Now, I don't have any other plays. My strong lean of the day, Joel Embiid under 51.5 PRA is not going to be popular, but look, I don't anticipate a lot of people to fade Joel Embiid, but I don't necessarily think this is a big, I mean, he's going to have a big game, but 51.5 PRA is very high. So wouldn't be surprised if anyone wants to take that. I'm not going to track it towards my record, but it is a reminder about that Bet365 offer. If you want to sign up, make sure you use all the details down below in the description. You just bet $1 on anything today, you get $365 worth of bonus bets. So take advantage of the Bet365 offer. Appreciate you guys as always. Let's have some good luck for Friday, St. Patty's Day. We need it because we've been just going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's been a brutal week for us. So it's been all over the place. But either way, let's have a great day. You guys have a great Friday. And of course, you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.